if you're not coming in with a bathing suit and you just come in with a boombox and you want to sit down and play music by the side of the pool, don't go to a swimming pool. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to dance, don't go to a swimming pool.
Fair.
Go to a breakdancing school.
That's your only option.
Your only option.
Why
human do? I'm Terry.
And I'm Jed.
And together we human. On today's episode, I would say this is probably a little bit of a controversial take that we're taking on this, but you know what? We're here for that controversial take. We're asking today, why gatekeep? And so we're asking the question, why, what are the benefits of kind of gatekeeping specific things?
Mm-hmm.
Why do we want to create perhaps little communities that exist only for a select number of people?
Curated, some might say. Now, there's some psychology that goes into gatekeeping, which maybe we'll tap into a little bit.
And we'll probably explore the different types of communities that are gatekept and which ones we find good and which ones we find problematic.
Tasteful and
acceptable. Tasteful, acceptable gatekeeping versus exclusionary, perhaps prejudiced gatekeeping based on other factors, which maybe we'll name.
Maybe we'll get into it.
But before we get to the topic of gatekeeping, I think we already kind of decided before we got going on this episode that there was a shared kind of experience that we had this weekend together.
Yes.
And I'll probably do the first half because Jed joined later. But we actually haven't debriefed on what happened. So we're both going to find out what we found awkward about the whole situation. But I can get started because chronologically, I think I enter the picture first.
Yes.
So the situation is that Jed and I were asked to be a part of an improv show. First off, I will say, I'm very offended that we weren't placed on the same team.
I'm sorry.
Very sad.
I did have something to do with that.
Yeah. Originally, I was like, our friend Will, who we've mentioned many times, and who's watching this right now, because he's the only person who watches
Thanks,
it.
Will.
Thanks, Will. Thanks for being here.
Our best friend, Will, as we are about to get into our controversial takes. Best friend, Will Choi.
He asked both of us to be a part of this show. And he generally will invite some guests to play on the show. And I got the text, and I assumed wrongfully that Jed would be in the set with me, but he wasn't. He was in a different set of the night.
In the same show.
So I was a little disappointed that I wasn't going to be playing with you.
I was asked first.
Because like it or not, we now come as a pair.
Yeah, truly.
But no.
It's smart to put us together, honestly.
I think though that, you had a very fun, we'll skip ahead, but you had a very fun set.
And you as well.
You really killed it and had there was some really fun stuff. And it was like a bunch of people that I hadn't really ever seen play together, but also like a handful of them I had never seen before.
Same.
And so it was very fun to watch. But that was like, also for me, on my set, I hadn't played with like a handful of the people too before.
And I had a lot of fun watching you.
Yeah. It was
the moves.
I mean, I don't know. I was like very much, it was fun to play with a different team. I was talking about it, and just our other team tends to play in a very specific way. And so I thought it was like fun to play in a different way. It's a different pacing of play. I thought that was kind of just interesting afterward.
And that's still fun because it's like, okay, if you think of us as ingredients, it's like, okay, what happens when you put a little Terry in this mix?
Exactly.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It comes out in different ways. It allows you to shine in different ways, or like, maybe the thing that you're good at maybe shines a little more in a different combination, right? Like, you're saying, like a recipe, right? Like sometimes you put one ingredient in, but you don't taste it really because it's like overshadowed by all the other flavors. But then sometimes you put it in and you're like, whoa, I can taste the paprika.
Whoa, so this is salt.
This is salt.
Whoa.
We got asked to do this show, and it was over in Highland Park, and at this really cool theater. And I think I got there early, and I was like, honestly, in the back of my head, I was like, I hope Jed's here.
I'm sorry.
But he wasn't. He was coming from a different show, so he came later. But I got there, and I immediately see Will. See you there.
Shout out to Will.
And he's talking to someone else, so I can't go up to him and have a conversation because he's the only person I know at the moment. So I just like come in and like do the thing where I'm like casually just like making myself busy, like take a seat. And I'm like, just like, oh, please let someone come who I know. It's always that moment where you're just like, because, you do the thing where, like, you're not just going to sit there. And I also just didn't want to go up to anyone and, like, start a conversation. But also I was like, but then that you pull out your phone to be, like, antisocial a little bit. And to be, like, also to make sure other people are, like, don't feel obligated to come up to you.
This is you signaling, like, hey, I'm okay. I can sustain myself. It's all right. Don't worry. You pull out your phone.
I did pull out my phone. And then, I was just waiting. But then I think our other friend Keiko came. And then I said hi to her. And she had to, like, go say hi to some other people. So there was a moment. But yeah, it was like, there's always this awkward moment when you enter like a group social setting where you're just like zeroing in on the person that you can like talk to for a little while, blah. Cause you're like also like game planning the moments through. Cause I knew eventually we would have to enter the theater to start the show. So I'm just biding my time until then. I didn't know how early to get there, but I try to arrive on time. And Will had asked us, Will, thank you for those great emails.
Check out those emails.
7:30 I think was the call, or 8:30 was the call time because it was a 9 p.m. show. And I did try to show up on time. But then of course I'm just waiting there. So awkward. So socially awkward. But anyway, so eventually, like, I keep looking. I out of the corner of my eye, I keep waiting for Jed to walk in, but you don't. You never do. So eventually we do move into the theater, and then I do the thing where I keep looking to the other door to be like, when is Jed gonna show up? I wasn't sure. At some point I got a little nervous. I was like, what happened to Jed?
I know.
But Will was like, oh no, we just all came from this other show. Like, he's probably there still. And I didn't realize like half of the show was coming from that other show. So yeah, that was like half the performers were like slowly entering.
Yes.
Which is like this little theater. It's like the smaller theater of a bigger theater, and the door opens directly to the sidewalk. So every time it opens, you can hear. At least I was standing in the back, and I could hear the sound change as the performers were going. And like people were coming in late. Like performers were coming in late. So. Yeah. It's like you had to kind of like let them in.
And as a performer, it can be immersion breaking because
it totally can be.
You're on the stage. If you just look straight ahead, you can just see the sidewalk.
Oh my God, completely. Also, the sound changes and you're hearing cars pass by, and it just really just messes with the reality. And you're also just like, are we waiting for the sound to end so we can get our line in? I was thinking during the middle of it, I was like, why don't they put a door into the other space? Like, why is it entering? Like, because it does.
Connecting.
Yeah. Why don't they put a door on that side as opposed to putting a door to. They could still have it as an emergency exit or something like that, but like the main door could be that way. They could create like a little like, because what you really want is like a little space with two doors, right? Where you can like soundproof it. So you come into one, like close the door behind you, like the clubhouse does it, where you have one door that you enter, then you open the other door or a curtain or whatever that sort of insulates the sound so that it's not like a direct opening. That would be really nice. I think I was thinking about that, but I mean, I guess I don't know. It's probably not that expensive to put a door in there, but who knows? It would be nice. Well, you can. I'm looking straight at you. Tell them to do that. But anyway, so yeah. Anyway, eventually you show up, and I'm like, thank God you're here finally. I'm like, I was just worried you weren't gonna make your set.
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry.
No. So you made it. You made it. You had another show, and like half a bunch of people came in at the very last minute.
My peers.
Yeah, your peers. Yeah. Which I mean, because you guys were
second
set 2. Yeah, that's right. So you really, you guys, and then there were people who came also for our set even who were just before we were going up. I'm like, how do you guys time this so well?
Yeah.
Good for you.
It's because we trust in the itinerary.
I know, it is true. I guess when you make a great itinerary and you stick to it, you can trust that you can arrive exactly at that time.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I was like nervous. It's like funny. It's just like, oh, when are the people? I was like,
I know.
Like, all right, and then part of the way through, I was like, oh yeah, this person's in our set too. This person's in our set.
I was thinking that in between space, you probably don't run into this issue a lot, where I was en route and I was approaching the time that I should have been there.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was close enough to where I didn't feel like it was worth communicating it, where there's like a 10-minute difference.
Of course. But I know, that is so interesting. What do you think is, because I have that thought a lot of times too, where I'm like running 3 to 5 minutes late, and I'm like, is it even worth doing the text and be like, hey, running a couple behind?
Right.
I think once it gets to 10 to 15 minutes late, then you start being like, hey, I'm a few behind.
Yes. And sometimes that can feel like an admission if you're like 10 to 15 behind, because it's like, there's a part of me that's thinking like, this might be dating when I had left, but I'm actually 15 minutes late.
Right.
I promise I left earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you ever do the thing where you're just like Traffic is.
I'm on my way.
I'm already on my
God.
way.
It's
Traffic
real
is just
crazy.
really crazy.
I try not to because
Yeah.
I think it's very easy to prove that nowadays.
Oh, totally.
You just be like,
I mean, I don't think it's like about checking. For me, I'm just like I only do it not to like, not as like an apology or as an excuse. I just literally want people to. I think it's always better to know that someone is going to be late and wait, and just to be like, so they're not anticipating. Yeah, because like I think the worst thing is like not knowing and waiting, and so I think just like giving a heads up of be like, hey, just know that you're going to be waiting for a few minutes.
Yes.
Or like if you want to take your time walking from your car to, or take a call or whatever, any number of things.
Right.
Like you have that option.
It gives the other person permission to relax.
Yeah.
Or at least like they have a sense of time as well.
Right.
I think that's totally fair. I try to just, if I know the person is a punctual person, I will try to just be on time.
Yeah, totally.
If I
there
think
is
they're
that scenario
casual,
where you know your friends are always late.
Yeah.
And so you're running a little late, so then you just know
you don't need to
say anything because they're all going to be late.
Yes. Exactly.
Or the best thing is when you're running late and then you get the text, "Hey, running late."
And I'm like,
oh,
I love when that happens.
Okay.
I love when that happens because then that person broke the
yeah,
barrier.
yeah.
It's just like,
who breaks first, right?
Well, if so and so is gonna take their time,
I know, right? Or it's like you let them believe that you've been waiting for them, even though you were a little late too.
I think I had fun with like a group text once when someone was like, it could be 15 late or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I was going to be on time, but I'm deliberately choosing to be late now.
Yeah.
I was not
you're like,
this is my choice.
Be late. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think for me, the like always the social awkwardness was that time before the actual event starts where you have to like mingle and
it's like treading water.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not great at going up to people I don't know and just introducing myself. I just like, it feels so taxing.
Yeah.
And I don't mind. I did end up having a conversation with one of the guys that I was going to be playing with in the set, who I've seen around, but I haven't like really ever spoken to, I don't think, in any meaningful way. But like we chatted for a little while. He was like very nice to like have a conversation with me, and we just like had a very casual pre-show conversation.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
I came in a little bit later.
Yeah.
I had an idea of who I was going to play with.
Yeah.
Some of who I knew. Yeah. And the others who I don't think ever interacted with. Yeah. Or seen before. Yeah. And I think I was hot off of another show, so I just kind of let's just get into it. Yeah. And there's something that's kind of fun about like, well, now we're just taking a big risk. I know. Well, we were getting up on stage like, hey, hi, nice to meet you.
Oh my God, totally. That's like a really interesting feeling to be like, to go out onto stage and have never talked to some of the people. But there is like, I think that, and this might actually get to our like gatekeeping thing. There's an immediate language that already exists among improvisers, like, and it's not apparent to like normal people, but we all have a shared vocabulary or shared experience of like being on stage and understanding the mechanisms and the etiquette that immediately establishes a framework by which we do this thing. And I think, not to transition already, but to say that there's a reason why you gatekeep certain communities, because once you throw in someone who doesn't understand the mechanics of it, it changes the dynamic completely. So I think like what's nice about improvising with people that you know are at a level, but you don't know personally, you know that you're taken care of still, regardless. You know that like you can throw them something and they'll be fine with it.
Yeah, that was, I felt like the payoff for me is like, I don't really know some of the people here. Yeah. I'm sure they're vetted.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure
I'm sure we'll curate it. This will.
Well, I think. Well,
it was actually yours was Amalia.
Yes.
Curated it. This one.
But
Will delegated that.
He did delegate, but it did end up being like a fun payoff because you just kind of take a risk. Yeah. And you're like, oh, cool. Yeah. Everyone's jumping in. That was really.
It's so nice when like people. It's so nice when you do a move and you're like, are people gonna get this? And then they get it, and then they're doing it, and you're just like, oh my God, this is amazing. I can't believe you picked up what I put down. Yeah.
Or they take it and run with it.
And they take it and run with it. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
That was fun. The thing that I actually was going to talk about was after the show.
After the show, yeah.
And this is just a mechanics thing where post-show we hung out.
Yeah.
And I was a little tired.
Yeah.
And so I...
Universal signal for tired.
Yes, I'm a little bit weary. And so I was putting my hand to my forehead for the audio listeners.
Yeah.
And for our audio listener.
Yeah.
When I kind of suggested we sit down.
Yeah.
And I realized as we were sitting down, catching up, talking and stuff like that, we were in a shared space.
Yeah.
And, people like to mingle and move around and jump in. And I
Yeah.
do realize it can be a little intimidating to approach two people seated who are having a conversation.
Absolutely.
And also, if people are seated, it is more of a potential commitment to enter that circle if people are standing. Because I was looking across, and there's a group of our friends standing and talking in a circle.
Yeah.
We were sitting down, so if someone decides to sit down with us,
it's more of a commitment.
It's more of a commitment.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Because you can't easily just because
then
it's like a whole thing. I got to stand up.
Yes.
It's like that moment in what is the oh Captain, my Captain.
Well,
I'm leaving.
I'm leaving.
But yeah, I hear that. It's like it is. Yeah, especially when people are like, and it's also body language too.
Yes, body language.
You know, it's like really daring when people are like, when two people are like, their bodies are squarely facing each other in deep conversation. You enter that conversation.
And you'd be like, let me get in on this.
Let me get. You sound like you're talking about something deep and personal.
Yeah.
Let me get in on this.
Not to imply that we were gatekeeping people from entering our conversation.
No.
It is a shared public space.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And honestly, the group opened up pretty quickly with the same people generally.
It was very welcome. I do think in future cases, I'll probably just try to stay standing.
Yeah, sure.
Just so that it can be a little more fluid with the interchange of people going in and out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because at a certain point, very nice to talk to everybody. But sometimes I just want to zone out.
Well, I mean, it's kind of interesting too, but your body language does tell people, we're keeping with the gatekeeping idea of it, whether they should enter the conversation or not, right?
Right.
And you have to be aware how your body language projects to other people, right? Whether you know it or not. I know, I feel like this has been coming up a lot recently, just online generally. It's everyone's always being you should position your legs and your body toward the person that you're focusing on, as opposed to, because basically what it signals, not even closed off, but what it signals is when your legs are away from the person you're talking to, it signals to them that you're ready to leave the conversation. I've heard this recently.
Yeah.
And I've heard it multiple times. So I think making a concerted effort to it sends a signal that you're focusing your attention on that person also.
Some people prefer a degree of detachment.
I think it's important to know when you want either, because there is something about positioning a way that allows people to open up because they're not feeling totally cornered.
Yes.
This moment doesn't have to be we're allowed to casually you can turn into it, right? I think there is something to that.
It's that whole idea of couples who either prefer to sit side by side or across from each other.
Oh, God.
You have a strong feeling?
I have a very strong feeling about couples on dates sitting next to each other. I'm sorry. What are you doing? Especially if it's a two-top where you're where it's a rectangle, right?
Uh-huh.
And so it's it's made so that you can face each other and have a plate on both sides. But then any couple who's sitting next to each other, sharing half a table, I'm sorry. That's a PSA to everyone. Do not do that.
Don't do it.
Also, you can't talk to each other.
You can
across from each other, you talk directly at each other.
I've got a devil's advocate, and I don't feel strongly about it in real life. But maybe you not focusing on the intensity of each other because you need a little bit of.
I'm sorry, but if you're dating, you better be comfortable with that. You better get comfortable with that.
It's so intense, and you just want to.
No, it's always just showy. For me, it's
Is it showy?
I feel like it's performative. I feel like it's we're on a date. Just so you know, we're on a date. We can all look at us touching each other. We're facing outward because you never find a couple you never find a couple who say there's a bench.
Yeah.
There's a bench, and then that faces outward or inside the restaurant. So
yes.
And then there's a chair,
yeah,
or whatever. It's not like they ever pull up two chairs and face the bench. They're always facing outward, right? Imagine if they're just they decide to grab two chairs and face an empty bench and eat their meal.
We like being in a couple.
But I mean, to be honest, I think that's equally as insane as as positioning yourselves side by side and eating your meal together.
But you're assuming that they're lovey-dovey touching each other as they're sitting next to each other.
What are you saying? They're just in a fight?
Maybe they just just sit next to each other.
Then go sit at separate tables. Don't sit next to each other. Don't share a meal.
This is a hard position.
You can't devil's advocate this because there's no position there. It's wrong. You should never do it. Those couples that sit side by side on their dates are the same couples that take Instagram photos by the sign of the restaurant outside.
Oh.
They force some stranger to take a photo, or
That's
they
when
do a
you
selfie outside.
Lose a little bit of respect.
I
Okay.
don't like that.
What about, hey, they're at a bar. They have no choice but to face the same
Oh,
direction.
okay. A bar is total. There's no. Well, because they would be. What's your other option? Go around to the bartender. Sit on the. Go join the bartender on the other side and talk.
Trying to defend.
Okay. You know what you do?
What?
You get a corner.
Yeah.
You get a corner.
They take the other corner across from the bar.
you each take a corner, opposite ends, and you shout it across.
Cheers.
Slide drinks across. No, that's the only. I mean, look, but that's a limitation that you're working with.
Yes.
When you're sitting at a booth, at a little booth with a table and then a chair, you got another option already. You have a more respectable option.
What if you're at a low? This is the last time I'm gonna try. What if you're at like a really low key diner? They have a bunch of booths, and you pick the corner one that's most obscured.
Okay.
And you and your partner, your back is towards most of the restaurant. You can't even really be seen, but you're both just quietly enjoying your meal.
Not
together,
talking.
sitting side by side.
I have
facing a corner.
I have no problem. This scenario is totally fine. I am totally cool with you guys want to sit side by side at a counter. That is fine.
Yeah.
Because again,
this is in a booth.
It's not a choice. It's not real. It's not a booth. It's not a weird. Okay, if you have a four top with a booth, two booths, right? Don't sit on one side together. That's crazy. That'd be crazy. Sit across from each other.
I can't bear to look at my partner in the eye.
Break up. If you guys have to sit side by side next to each other, it's time to break up. That's a sign.
That's so funny.
Okay, so yes.
Okay.
Yeah, body language. Body language is important. I think it's very important. We don't always give it the weight that it deserves, but and I think back to improvising. I think improvisers have a really good sense of their body language because it's very important in scene work.
Yes. I can clock when someone does not want to be
in a scene with you.
Well, not in a
they walk off
socializing.
Yeah.
in a regular context.
Oh my God! Sometimes, totally.
I can kind of tell
you want
looking
out.
for a
You're
way
finding
out.
Yeah.
And
which
I
is
feel
totally
bad
fine.
because you have chosen to stick with us.
I know. Sometimes I do get aware. I am aware. Even on Saturday, I was like, "Oh, does this person want to leave? Have another conversation?"
Yes.
And I'm trying to give them an out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, you should get the hell out of here.
Fuck off.
Hey, I'm sick of seeing you around here. But
yeah. So I mean, it's always the social dynamics of a conversation are so layered.
Yeah.
You're constantly just I think, and maybe this is just perhaps us neurotics, ultra neurotics. Every single moment is new information about the intentions of the person across from you.
And time moves so much slower when that's happening.
I know. You're just what did that mean? What did that mean? What did that mean? What did that mean? Are you trying to get out? Let me see. Let me put and then let me test the waters. Let me change this conversation. Do you want to talk about this? No, I don't want to talk about this. Do you still want to do this? Are you actually? Do you really want to show me a picture of your cat, or do you not? I'm not sure. I wasn't sure. I was like, I'll look at it. No, but I don't. I'm not sure. Did you actually want to share it, or were you just joking that you want that I could show you? There's a moment where you're show us a picture of your cat, and then she's like, I have a picture of my cat. So
did I pressure you into doing
this? Did I pressure you into do this? Oh my God, the number of things that go through your head when you're a social neurotic.
Yeah.
So anyway, was there any other major takeaway that you had from our sort of social gathering? Because we did have we gathered in the bar afterwards, and then we moved a smaller group. And that's always nice when there's a subset of a subset of a subset. Yes. And eventually straggles off. It's a stragglers, and then you go somewhere else. You move 5 feet.
Yeah.
Whittled away.
I think I'm gonna start off mobile.
That's the takeaway.
Giving out
always
start
be
off
mobile
so that When you and if
That's
you
not
do decide to
gatekeeping.
plant,
That's not gatekeeping
it's not
because
you.
we're not excluding people with disabilities.
When you're mobile, you can move on to any. You're not bound to anyone. And when you
I
do
think that's
decide
good.
to plant, and if you do, which is generally my strategy in social situations, just to plant, like find a corner. And
Yeah,
plant or
I know
whatever.
it's true.
You also kind of get to control who
You talk
you're
to.
spending time.
Yeah, it is true because you can exit. I don't know how to I feel like some people are really good at gracefully exiting a conversation and like in a very casual way, and I just haven't figured out the best way to do that now. I'm always looking because I'm always constantly searching for that moment,
Mm-hmm.
and then it doesn't always come around.
You can only go to the bathroom once.
Exactly. You can only.
Well,
unless you want to signal to
unless they're
to your friends that something is not okay.
Yeah.
But yes, I think you can only go to the bathroom so often.
I've got to go to the bathroom again, and
Yeah.
yes, I did shit myself.
I know, right? Yesterday I had lunch with a friend and I had to go to the bathroom like 4 times in our conversation.
Yeah.
We were there for like 2 hours, but
Yeah.
I was like, I drank so much on the way. I had to drive like a half an hour to get there.
Yep.
And so I drunk some water beforehand. So
Mhm.
immediately when I got there, I had to use the bathroom.
First point relief.
And then I had a coffee. And I had to
Second
go
point
pee,
diuretic.
and then it just like keeps going, and then you
Yeah.
just like open the floodgates, and like
Yeah,
then I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I just have to keep peeing. I'm sorry.
And you'd be like, it's only urine, in case you were wondering.
Yeah, in case you were wondering, I didn't take a massive shit.
And I'm not doing coke in the bathroom.
I know, right?
I did have a friend who was doing that before.
Oh, constantly.
Constantly.
Oh, God.
And every time it came back, it
The bloody nose.
was like, oh man, peeing is hard.
I know, right? Oh God. So yes, you want to be mobile. You want to be able to
I
like.
wanna be mobile.
Yeah, you want to be like ready. You want to feel like you're not fixed.
Yeah.
There's some amount of like spontaneous movement that can happen.
And there were some friends that I didn't get a chance to say hi to.
That's
And I
true.
can tell that because of where I planted and how I planted and without actually going through. It can come off like, oh, maybe Jed doesn't want to be social right now.
Oh, sure.
Which
yeah.
is generally the case, but I'm happy to see you.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's like you're the Pope. Come to me.
Yes,
Come
exactly.
to me. I sit on my throne. You come to
Here,
me.
kiss my ring?
Yeah, kiss my
Is that
ring.
what a pope does?
Actually,
Or is
the
that a
Pope does go.
mafioso?
You should have a Pope mobile.
I
You can
should.
go around and say hi to everyone.
But yeah, because I want to be visible but protected.
Yeah, exactly. Don't take any shots at me.
Don't shoot
I have
me.
3 inches of plexiglass to protect me.
But give me a little winky.
Yeah, yeah. Give me a little wave, a little.
mwah, a little smooch, a little bless ya.
Okay, so
Gatekeeping.
gatekeeping. I guess we
Let's
did
get
the
into
topic.
the
I don't think
topic.
no real social verdicts on anything that I think maybe we could have been a little more open. Probably like I could have been more open.
I certainly could have as well.
I was just not in the mood to like do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're not.
Yeah, and I think that's the other thing is that sometimes it's wherever you're at is fine.
Yeah, also
and I
that.
think there's something to it to just be like, I should have been like this.
I know.
I don't really know if
It's fine.
shoulds ever really help.
No, it's not helpful. I think it's just like you gotta meet yourself where you're at.
Yeah.
Meet people where they're at. Meet yourself where you're at.
Meet yourself where you're at.
Yeah. Gatekeeping.
Gatekeeping.
All right.
Which
I
takes us
think
to
okay. So just to frame up this conversation, I think there was probably some backlash against gatekeeping in the last couple decades, maybe, but rightfully so because gatekeeping prior to maybe the early aughts, the mid aughts, was sort of like due to systemic problems, systemic prejudice. And I think now we're entering this phase where, for me, the larger social context of this is that the internet has democratized and homogenized all spaces. Everything feels the same. Everything is accessible to everyone. There's no moderation. There's a degradation in sort of like curation. Curation is dead. We allow algorithms to do all that. But I would argue being purposeful about the curation. Hey, Will Choi, great job. Curation. Curation is important. I know. We're just like putting it out on the internet.
As a gatekeeper.
I know, right?
My best friend Will Choi, the gatekeeper.
Gatekeeper.
Sorry, Will.
No, but there's a way to do it that's like preserves the integrity of the space and the people within that community. I think that's very important because once you start opening up the gates to everyone, you lose the purpose of that space because you have to agree on something. You have to agree that you're here for a core reason. And if you're not, if you're just there because this space is for everyone, that space no longer holds value. That's my opinion.
That's a syndrome monologue from The Incredibles.
When everyone's a super, no one is. Yeah, I mean, to some extent. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like, I think it's less about being special or anything like that, but it's deciding what your purpose for being there is, right? Like, if you're just opening it up to people because you don't want to be seen as exclusionary, that's not a good reason to do it.
That's a hard position to be in.
I think you open it up and you have rules. I'm here more. You know what? Maybe I'm here for ground rules.
Okay.
I'm here for like people being like, you know, when you go to a public pool and there are rules and people have to abide by those rules. No running. We don't run here. Like, whatever. All those rules are fine. Just, they're out. They're posted.
Don't let us
publicly.
Catch you urinating.
Don't. Feel free to piss in the pool, but don't make it obvious. Don't make it obvious. But yes, I think like I wish every space had those like one set of like 7 rules that we are here for, and we all agree it's on the gate. Maybe the gate's unlocked and you can enter, but you have to abide by those rules.
Yeah.
And you can get kicked out if you don't abide by those rules.
You have to show a little document or sign a little document or waiver that says, I'm going to abide by the social contract of this particular community. Yeah, maybe you have to sign something.
Also, if you're not coming in with a bathing suit and you just come in with a boombox and you want to sit down and play music by the side of the pool, don't go to a swimming pool. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to dance, don't go to a swimming pool.
Fair.
Go to a breakdancing school.
That's your only option.
Your only option.
I think there's something to be said about with everything being democratized and homogenized, where like people are bringing things to spaces where they lose their focus. They lose their sense of focus.
Right. Even like I would argue that like social movements, political movements get degraded when you don't carefully curate how you're inviting people into that movement.
That's definitely true. You have some bad faith actors, and you have people looking to capitalize.
People just there for the wrong. You have the mission gets muddled. I mean, talk about the Democratic Party. I mean, a bit too accepting of people. Like, we'll
take anybody.
We'll take anyone.
Period.
Yeah. At least the Republicans are like,
hey,
do you hate women? Come on in.
Now that is an example of good gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Well, when I think about gatekeeping, it's certainly dependent on the community.
Yeah.
You have niche communities, you have specific artistic communities, but then also you have communities where their identity is based in a particular hobby. Gamers are notoriously gatekeeping type people. People who are into bands.
Yeah.
Certain bands can be gatekeeping, and I'm thinking of those archetypes that were critiqued back in the day of like, oh, are you a real fan of band?
Prove it.
Name XYZ songs.
I know. I think that becomes problematic.
I think what's going on under the hood is that if a person attaches their identity to that thing,
I was thinking that exactly.
They attach their identity to that thing. It's very precious to them, and so there is a social currency that they attribute to other people who share that same value.
Yeah,
but they don't like. Bless you.
I'm gonna sneeze.
Yes, thank you. But they don't like people trying to cash in on that. Inauthentic.
When there is a sort of social credit that comes with being a part, not to say that all those communities do have that, but in some respect they do in a certain subset of the world. And to shortcut that, I think is very offensive to people who have spent a lot of time building that. I think in this moment, actually, my gut is telling me that since backrooms became a thing, there's probably some part of the internet that's like, we've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
How dare Hollywood come in and like take that from us?
I'm sure there are Knicks fans who are like,
look at all that too. Yeah, these fair weather fans. Yeah. So I think
go Knicks.
Yeah, go Knicks. Go Knicks. I think it's like, I think the gatekeeping aspect of it for me is like, if there's ego involved, it's probably not like the best place to start from. And look, I'm here for the people who are like, hey, don't invade this space if you can't really function at the level that we're operating at. Like if you're like a gamer space and you come in wanting to be at the most advanced gamer level, like don't do that because it changes the dynamic.
Right.
Of, for instance, one small example is when we were in New York, remember we met up, my sister went to that Mahjong thing.
Yes.
So they have like a weekly or monthly Mahjong free open play. So you like pay an entry fee and you come in and you can play. Even I was hesitant to, because I'm not a great Mahjong player. I've only played a few times. But I realized that entering that space and like sitting down at a table, I would slow down the play for more advanced players. And so I want to be aware of that. Of course, like, I don't know that they would care, but I want to be aware that it will change the dynamic of play if I were to insert myself. For everyone, it changes everyone's play.
And so then the dilemma is, if you're a person who is new to a hobby or a community that you do want to be a part of, what's the appropriate way to do it?
Right. Where are there spaces for you to enter that community?
I think culture of community is also important.
Of course.
Citing games again as an example. There are competitive games that rely on team-based tactics. Those are very toxic environments because you not doing well is dependent on...
It's very outcome-based.
It's very outcome-based, right? There are collaborative games that are just generally cooperative that cater to a more friendly environment. Same with stand-up versus improv.
I know. That's so true. That is like a very distinct culture there are two distinct cultures there. Yeah, I think so long as, like, for me with the gatekeeping, and particularly in this respect, it's like, I think if intentions are aligned, that's the most important thing. And then you have to define within the space the context of, like, whatever immediate action is happening, right? So, like, if we are doing some sort of, like, if it's a gamer space and we have to actually play a game that requires an outcome, like, let's make sure we're all aware and that even if your intention is to enter this community and be a part of this community in the long run, if you're not able to accomplish the short-term goal, like, probably excuse yourself from that situation. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we should agree that, like, this is going to require a certain level of commitment. It's going to require a certain level of like, skill. Then you should probably not be a part of that particular moment. And I think you should, that's why upfront rules, I think, are very helpful in all situations. But I think when it becomes problematic, it's like when a new person who has the intention of, like, sticking around or learning about it gets gatekept out of the entire thing because they're not ready for that one small campaign or whatever you want to call, like, the game as a subset of the larger community.
That happened to me. This might not make any sense at all to you, what I'm about to say. The game Warcraft 3 had custom games. There was a game called Defense of the Ancients, DOTA. It eventually became a split-off thing, which was the basis for a game called League of Legends, which you've heard of. So that style of gameplay originated in Warcraft 3. In order to play any custom game, you have to download the game. So when you enter a lobby, a number will show up next to you showing your download progress. If any established player sees that you're currently downloading the map, they know that you're a new player. So I never was able to play Dota, Defense of the Ancients, because I never got a chance to download the map. Every time I joined a lobby, they saw that I was downloading it, which meant I was a new player, which meant I was going to ruin their outcome. And so I got kicked every time.
They actually can kick you out.
They can kick you out of the lobby.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That is, I thought they were just, like, not allowing you to join their thing.
They're just straight up like.
So there's no way to kind of, how do you, then that to me is like, no new people can ever enter.
Exactly.
Like, how do you do it?
It never.
Are there simulated? Like, can you do it first?
There are people where you can just enter the lobby just to download the map. But generally, the community at the time was more towards, like, we don't want to play with newbies, which I get.
See. Yeah, I mean, I think, like, there is some validity to playing. I was saying this before, but playing at the level you're at and being expected. But like, I don't know. Like, my thing is, if you're gatekeeping someone who's, like, not as good as you, then you have to assume that someone above you is going to gatekeep you out of that too,
true.
right? And, like,
you will
usually
have to abide by
the person who's gatekeeping the person, like, the newbie, is not as good as, like, the best player, and they also like would take offense from getting gatekept out of the higher level.
Yeah, I think so. That is something that probably people don't really take into account.
Yeah.
Or maybe they are perpetuating it without realizing it. It's like, hey, this happened to me, so it's only fair I do it to you because I'm in a position.
Oh my
now where
God. Well, I mean, the
you.
passing on of trauma and shit like that is like awful. It's always like, I went through this, so you have to go through this. And that's never a very good reason to do that.
Despite all that we're talking about, I still do feel like if you want to be a part of a community or you want to take up a hobby, I still think that you should do it.
Yeah.
And know that you may face resistance.
Yeah. Ideally, like, there's a safe environment for you to learn without having to be subjected to the toxicity of these, like, mostly probably insecure players or whatever. Because obviously, like, if you're, like, very secure in your playing style, I'm sure you can, like, handle a lot.
Yeah, and you would sometimes even welcome and have fun trying to, like, see the growth of another.
It's so funny. Like, I do feel like people fall into two camps. One is, like, the person who's like, can't be bothered with this newbie. And this happens a lot of things. Like, the first thing that comes to mind is, like, skiing with people or, like, snowboarding with people.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times people are like, you just want to go down on a blue, like, or whatever. Like, you're only on greens. Like, I don't want to do it with you. Like, I want to be at someone my level. And then there are people who are like, this is fun. Like, let's do it. Like, let's go down together. Like, let's go down the mountain together. Like, and they're like into it.
Yeah. Because then you're also like, for the people that have experienced gatekeeping. Yeah. Then they feel like, well, I don't know if I can play with you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm good enough to hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
And I get it.
Yeah.
It's rough. But I think we want to pivot back into where gatekeeping feels justified.
Yeah. Or why would you do it? I mean, like, why we can both talk about why people do it in a toxic way, but also we can talk about why people do it and that's in a constructive way.
Yes.
I think gatekeeping can be constructive when it's when it gives people safe spaces to prosper. So, like, I was talking about segmenting by level of skill. Like, that I think is good gatekeeping because it's like you're protecting the person from not getting too frustrated by, like, because, like, the worst thing is a beginner playing in an advanced league and, like, getting immediately sort of, like, discouraged by the play because they just can't keep up and then giving up on it. What you want is for people to, like, get enough enjoyment out of it at the appropriate level so that they can slowly creep their way up in levels. I think that's important. I think other important aspects of why we want to gatekeep is to make sure that we're all aligned, right? I think it's important, and this forces communities to decide what their purpose,
what they're all about,
what their core sort of raison d'être is.
Oh,
you know? Yeah, the reason of being, right?
Excuse.
Yeah, this is French. Yeah, there was funny. That was like, it reminded me of that scene.
Oh,
there was
yeah,
a scene in one of my set where everyone was trying to speak
French.
pretending to speak French, but they were like,
French, but
nobody clearly spoke French.
No one, not even the accent.
And nobody even could do the accent even.
Silly.
But anyway, so yes, I think those are like good ways, and like, I think being too open to everyone doesn't sufficiently align interests and expectations.
Yes, that can be a point of interest, point of conflict.
Yeah.
Especially if you are in the position of authority and say everybody can do it.
Yeah.
In certain contexts, it makes sense. But again, there's no control for quality. Yeah. There's no control for consistency. Yeah. It just depends.
It really depends. Yeah. You know, I think a lot of times we talk about like certain like hobbies. How do we? I think maybe we can get into these are more like socioeconomic things, but like the idea of gatekeeping within like economic status. Like, we could talk about a country club, right? That's like the ultimate gatekeeping. Yeah. Right? Where you literally have
price prohibitive.
You have to pay an initiation fee. You have to probably like know people already there to vouch for you. Even probably need referrals to get in, and then you have an exorbitant like annual fee to be able to use the space. And I guess we could try to make the argument that those spaces are good. Like, why do they do that? I mean, I think for me, at its core, segmenting by money can be dangerous for both the people who are included and excluded.
Right.
I think it's dangerous for the people who are included because they become far too insulated from the real world. And I think that can be dangerous. I think wealthy people who insulate themselves too much, and we talked about this because when we went to New York, it's like, it's really difficult to insulate yourself completely in New York from everything. But I think in LA, it's much easier.
Yes.
To like have your gated home in your very ritzy neighborhood, drive in your car, valet park, go straight to the entrance, like never interact with anyone who you don't want to. That's it. I think it can create a false sense that the world operates in a very controlled manner when it doesn't.
Right. And if you're part of a community that participates in that, you're selecting for people of the same type.
I think what's interesting, and maybe what we could talk about too, is that what does it select for, right? Like, what does the community select for? And when you're talking about a country club, what you're really selecting for is wealth. Is just the pure wealth. But we can drive deeper on that. Oftentimes, what wealth selects for is race. It's where you're from. It's education. It's a number of other things. And that's why you can argue that, like, what does like going to Harvard select for? Well, it selects for wealth because like wealth buys education, it buys access. And so when people like decide to go to Harvard, the calculation isn't just, am I going to get the best education possible, or am I going to meet wealthy people who are going to be well connected, you know?
And there's a status associated with being affiliated with Harvard.
Yeah, there's a status for sure. And same thing with a country club or whatever.
Right, exactly.
But I think one thing to ask yourself when you're gatekeeping is, what does this rule select for? Right? Is it prohibitive to people that we want it to be prohibitive to? Because is the cost money? Is it time? Is it knowledge? Right? Because like there are certainly like groupings of society where it's purely like you have to have achieved an accreditation. You have to have gained enough knowledge. You have to have proven that you have the skill set, right?
You're speaking a particular language here, and you need to have to understand what that language is.
In the most formal way, gatekeeping is like, who's a doctor, right? You have an American Medical Association who like determines you're certified on your boards, your medical boards. You've met all the requirements. Like, gatekeeping is necessary.
I just had a thought of like, you're on a plane and someone's like, is there a doctor on the plane?
Yeah.
And you go up and you're like, what if I'm not?
Yeah, I know, right?
What about me?
What about me?
Huh?
I don't exclude me from that. I know. It's like, that's not useful. You're not useful to me.
That is making me think about, there was that observation made by someone about the internet about how everyone is like trying to filter everything through their like,
oh
how
my
does
god,
this apply to me? Someone's like,
like
here's a recipe that
the
involves
beans. The bean one. Yeah, I've heard the bean one too. Yeah, it's like,
explain that.
It's like, I think you probably know better than me, but it was basically like the title must have been like, here's a great bean recipe.
Yeah.
And the person was like, hey, here's an awesome recipe that you can use white beans for, blah blah blah. And here's it. She goes through the video and it's very helpful. And it's like, here's a great recipe. And the comment is, what about all of us who don't want to use beans or can't have beans? And you're just like, this video is not for you. Not everything is for you.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to. And that is the filter by which we like now absorb the internet. Like, if this video is not for you, you have to be offended that it's not for you, right? It's like, because you're then gatekeeping it from these people.
Sure.
When in reality, it's like, not everything is for everyone.
Yes, that's just true.
Yeah.
That's just reality.
That's just reality.
You go to a hometown buffet, they're not going to have everything that you want.
No.
They're not going to have a wide spread of other cuisines there.
And I think like the world is better for having spaces that are not for everyone. And the specificity of that's important, right? That's what gives culture any meaning.
Yes,
is like true. What differentiates it from other parts of the culture.
I agree. I just couldn't think of it.
Oh no, I thought it seemed like you were processing.
No,
but
I was like, no, I definitely agree. I just
okay.
have a point to add on. Please edit that out.
But yeah, so I think what gatekeeping provides is specificity to spaces, and eliminating all gates eventually turns everything into this amorphous blob.
Yeah. What is
nothing?
What is
no meaning?
What is a kingdom with no walls?
That's true. What is a prison with no bars.
Wow, we're really hitting
We really are
with the philosophy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's partially like identity. It's like, why do we even have nations? Like, why isn't the world just like one
big
place,
open,
big place? Why do we need to segment society into smaller things?
We're different. The resources available to us are different. Our needs differ.
Yeah.
Environmentally, societally.
And there is like a yearning to differentiate oneself based on one's identity, like to create a singular identity. It's like, I think fundamental to it is this contradiction at its core that we are nothing in existence, and yet we only experience the universe and the world through one lens.
Yes.
So it's like, we know it's trying to reconcile two very disparate ideas, that we're just a blob of like cells that have like over time been recycled, and like we're all just a speck of dust on the speck of a planet, and then that we have consciousness and that we're filtering everything through our own lens, and that we have identity, and that we are like experiencing life through a very like singular sort of like frame of mind. So how do you reconcile those two things? And it's very like, well, let me find forms of identity, and let me find places that make me feel like I can form identity.
I think you touched upon this. Is why people form religions.
And religion too. Religion is just another expression. Religion could just be like a gaming community.
It's a one-to-one, honestly.
It's very one-to-one.
World of Warcraft was my religion.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I mean, religion is just sort of like a desperate attempt. Well, I would say it's an attempt to organize the world, the chaos of the world, into a framework. But it's also a means of like shared identity, the same way that like national identity is like shared identity. I think it's like, how do you form identity, right? Like, and I think like my more conspiratorial or cynical side says that like the powers that be want us to have that shared identity that they can exploit.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's useful to the government for Americans to feel like Americans, to be like, we are proud Americans, like come at it from a place of like, let's attack this other country because like we're preserving freedom because we're Americans or whatever, you know?
In the same way that certain Christians will certainly like organize and weaponize their community.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, again, there's no like it's right or it's wrong. It's just like the gatekeeping aspect of it can be used for good and bad.
Certainly.
Yeah. Even like I was telling you, I was watching the AI doc yesterday, and it was like, the question was like posed was, well, if AI can do all this really terrible stuff and all this really, really good stuff too, why don't we just point it in the direction of the good? And the point is that you can't, that they come hand in hand. Like the same information that can be used to solve some of the like deadliest diseases can also be used to create bioweapons, right? Like they're one and the same, but it's just, how do you employ them?
This might sound really simplistic, but so long as people are different, which we just fundamentally are, we're just always going to have that spectrum of quote-unquote good and bad.
Oh, completely. Because everyone has a different definition of what's like morally good and what's morally wrong.
All filtered through their lens of their life experiences.
Right.
Life to them.
So, yeah, I mean, I think like it's a lot. I mean, we're getting a little heady, but the gatekeeping aspect can happen on such the micro level and such a macro level too, right? It's like who belongs to what place. And
because like, here are the positives. You run into the wild. You're out in the wild. You see someone wearing a shirt of a band that you love.
Oh, totally.
You're like, oh my God. Hey, you also like
this
blah,
person.
Blah.
Yeah.
Yes, blah, blah, blah.
Totally.
Or you're talking
it's
to
an
someone.
Immediate shortcut to being like, you know, whatever. Or the shortcut to like, you know, or just like very simply, like you hold an accreditation by the California Bar Association.
Sure.
You're a lawyer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
is there a lawyer on board?
It's like endorsements by organizations have meaning only based on the gatekeeping that they do, right? By the standards that they have.
Yes.
And so I'm always like, the world is so complicated that I'm always looking for shortcuts to like, and that's why I like, I think we've talked about this before, but like brand affiliation is kind of, I like to decide whether I like a brand or not, and then trust that their products are good. And so like, I know Costco.
Yes.
Costco. We always talk about Costco, but like I trust their curation process. I trust their value that they deliver. And so I don't have to like spend as much time, like whatever.
Yes.
Like, so like when you go and like you need a lawyer, you can at least, you don't have to like literally go and check every client they've ever had, ask them if they did a good job, go check on their credentials from the bar association or whatever. You just know that like this person has been endorsed or has the credentials that you need, and therefore they meet the sufficient requirements, right? And that's important. And then you don't have to do all the research yourself, and you shouldn't have to spend your time doing that.
And the thing where it gets even complicated then is you have doctors who commit malpractice.
Sure.
And then it's like, wait,
well, then
I was
they
supposed to trust
degrade the community.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So that's also, and that's why gatekeepers should exist, because they need to be like, oh, that person's out of our community now because like they broke the rules of the community.
If someone is excommunicated from their church,
right?
You know,
I think gatekeeping at its best holds standards that communicate consistency and a shared foundation, maybe that like if you're all like if we're all Eagle Scouts or something like that, we just know what that means or whatever. We can all have this shared understanding of it.
Yeah, that's
and like I was saying, like improvisers, right? Like if you're at a certain level of improviser, like at least you can like kind of assume that like they understand like a move, or like whatever that thing.
What
is.
you're going to try to do.
What you're going to try to do, and like I think with that you can then grow more. Like you can like achieve a different like, because then you're not spending so much time on the like fundamentals of things. If you've already like established that you're all at a certain level, then you can like explore more. You can like dive deeper. You can have better conversations. I don't know. All these things like anytime you can allow freedom, like more free, unrestrained sort of like exploration, I think better, right? Because I think like anytime you're sort of chained down by like having to establish from the get-go, like, do we even fundamentally agree that like the reason that we're here,
right?
It just bogs everything down.
Yes. So having a built-in just sort of like understanding.
Yeah, totally. Right. Like you should be here if you've met these certain requirements, and like you're here for this reason. Yeah.
Once again, sorry, my mind.
No. I don't know.
Please
you can devil's advocate me also.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's.
We would know how well that went last time.
Sit next to each other.
Next to each other. It's so fun. I kind of want to get into the personal, but I can't really think of other instances.
I mean, we could also talk about like specific places that are gatekept, and we can kind of give a thumbs up or thumbs down to like the gatekeeping of it.
Of that. Yeah.
I think that's like kind of an interesting space. I think well, I think we naturally gatekeep friend groups, obviously. Like that's like clear, right?
Yes, because I still can understand, but it still throws me for a loop when people are upset that they are not
invited to a thing.
I get it.
Yeah,
being excluded sucks.
It sucks,
but also, why would I want to be a part of it?
But because like I think again, right? Like that gets a little more squishy.
Yes,
because friends are loosely held together, but sometimes 4 people within a friend group are really into one thing and they want to do that one thing, and the 3 other people are not into it, so they shouldn't do that thing, and they shouldn't feel bad that they're excluded.
Yes, that's true.
If you don't like paintballing, why would you go paintballing?
Then why are you upset? I didn't.
Yeah,
take you
exactly.
Shoot you in the. Anyway.
Yeah, I'll shoot you in the back.
I have done that.
So before. Like I think. Yeah, but I think like so friend groups are very complicated. I don't know why I inserted that, but it was one thing where
it is certainly
it's all gatekeeping, right?
You have to curate.
That's all it is.
Yeah,
no one's like out there being like, don't gatekeep friends. Like
that's wild.
Like, it would be like, no, that's the whole point of it.
Hey, your friends are for everybody.
Yeah. You should be friends with everyone.
Yeah. There's just been instances where you have a fixed dynamic that you've come to grow comfortable with within your friend group, and then there's an external element that can throw that for a loop.
Yeah. What about what about religion? Do you think religion should be gay-kept? Like, do you think a religion itself should be like only enter this space? Because some religions are like everyone's welcome.
Yeah.
But some religions are like, no, you better like abide by these rules.
That
like,
one's a little bit tough. I think it depends on the strictness of your doctrine.
Yeah.
Probably. Because I have been to, oh man, I couldn't tell you what it was, but I went to my friend who had a relative pass away, and it was held at a Sikh temple.
A Sikh temple, yeah.
And it was a very inclusive experience. And I was a little bit like wary about going in because like I don't know how to behave, I don't know what to abide by.
Yeah.
And I was very grateful to have felt very welcome.
Yeah.
In that space.
Totally.
And been exposed to it.
Right.
I would likely never return if it was like.
Yeah, you're not allowed here. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
There's all this. I mean, like, and I get that too. It's like certain things are like, I don't know. It's tough also, right? Like. Some religions are so like all you gotta do is be like, I love Jesus, and you can come in.
Yeah.
And then some religions are like, no, actually, like if your mom's bloodline doesn't go back this far, you're like not here. You're not actually true or whatever. And like I don't know. Again, this gets to the question of like, what is the barometer? What is the metric by which we're gatekeeping, and what is that? What is that solving for?
I think this touches upon. If your community is stagnating, like if you have maintained a standard for such a long time, but now your community is declining,
right?
Or the quality of your art is declining, or whatever that looks like, that's when you should probably reconsider
how much you're gatekeeping. Yeah.
Especially if you're not generating any new interest.
Yeah.
In your.
I mean, I do think about the Shakers. You know the Shakers,
like
the religions. Like the Quakers, but they're the Shakers.
Okay,
it was another religion, but fundamental to their belief was not having sex and not having kids. And I'm like,
how did they get there?
How did it actually happen?
How did the Shakers come to be?
Oh, right, exactly. Well, their whole point was like, that like you have to devote yourself to God, basically, essentially. And anyway, but I'm like, that's the shortest cut to your religion ending.
Yeah,
you're not having kids because like the only way you have religion expansion is by having more kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like indoctrinating kids.
Yes,
that should be the first clue that religion is crazy. Is the only It's literally it's upheld by indoctrination. It's literally like a Ponzi scheme. It's like you just gotta like recruit people under you or have those babies, and that's the only way it's happening. And we should fundamentally agree that that's not a good way. That's not a good system.
It's so religion is so tough. There are people that certainly are put in positions of authority that will interject their own ego, and their own sort of schemes, or whatever. And then there are people that are drawn to religion because to be devoted to something means something.
Yeah.
To like exercise your faith in something is meaningful.
Sure.
And sometimes these people are vulnerable to manipulation on a larger scale.
Yeah.
And that's not ideal.
Yeah. Power dynamics of institutions are generally problematic. I think when there's a extreme hierarchy in any institution, that's when things can become very dicey. Give too few people too much power, and like you're gonna find problems. And like the gatekeeping aspect of it aside, just institutions in general need to have checks and balances.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, for religion, if you gatekeep based on like, well, this religion is about studying the book or whatever, you better study the book.
Sure.
Or this religion is about devoting yourself to charity. You better be devoting yourself to charity.
Right.
Like that should be the barometer. You know what I mean? Some religions are like, give us 10% of your money and we'll be fine. And then you're selecting for people who are just willing to give away their money. I don't know what that selects for, honestly. It's just corporate profit maximization to me. Yeah.
Profit maxing. Kill me for saying that.
Yeah. What about gatekeeping, good or bad? Sports fandom.
Oh, sports fandom. As someone who is, this is a hard one to answer because I have no interest in sports.
Yeah.
I think it is not a good look for someone to very outwardly proclaim that their brand, like, oh yeah, I'm a fan now because they're doing well.
Oh, sure, totally. Like fair weather.
Yeah, fair weather.
Don't be like, don't say that like in a prideful way, right?
I think
like
there should be some humility to saying that.
My thing about gatekeeping sports fandom is that you're only a fan because you were born in that city. Like, why are you forming your identity around that?
Maybe some people are really into the athleticism of the sport and they follow particular athletes and they know the athletes very well.
But I know very few sports fans who, like, once an athlete gets traded, they'll be like, that's a great player, but they're still like, I'm a Knicks fan or I'm a Yankees fan or whatever. And then once a new player comes onto their team, they're like, oh my God, I love this guy. You know what I mean? So I'm like, it's not really about that. And I get that, like, God, let me say this. White people don't have identity, so they form their identity around like the city that they're born in and the sports teams that they follow. But I'm just like, come on, guys. Develop a personality. Form your identity around something that matters.
Okay. Gaming then.
Gaming. Or do something that you form your identity around something you do. Like if you're a fucking baseball player, like you can form your identity around that because you devoted your life to that thing. But you don't devote your life to watching a sports team.
What if it's their... I can't devil's advocate there. It's just
okay, if your dad owns the team, well, hey, you should not that shouldn't.
I'm sticking it to my pops.
Yeah.
Sports. Yeah, nothing conclusive to say. Like, would you gatekeep, or how do you feel about gatekeeping for sports fans? Like, you're like, hey.
I think like gatekeep. If the mechanism to gatekeep is that you're just like want to have a shared vocabulary with them, like to be like, oh my God, like wasn't it so great when our team had this player and they were the best player and like that move or whatever. Like you can't have that conversation with someone who's not been a fan for a while or like really doesn't understand it. Like I can't really even talk to people about sports because like I don't really understand it.
Sure.
You know, I'm just like, I don't know the players. I don't know. It's like me talking to someone who doesn't care about like the movie industry.
Sure.
You know, you might as well be speaking another language.
But I am thinking about filling in the space of a stadium, right? You have people doing the wave. You have people doing the cheers. Does everyone, are you like, we're not assuming that everybody that's participating in doing the wave or participating in those big cheers knows the game inside out?
No. But there's a different, going to a game physically is very different from being just like an avid sports fan. Like you're there, you're doing the thing. It's like a social thing. You're just like doing the wave is not about liking the sport. It's about just like getting on board with like a collective action.
Being a part of that's true.
That's communism. That's socialism. No, I know. But you know, it's like being a part of a community. It's different. Yes. But like gatekeep, like I mean, what would be bad is like sitting down during the wave and being like, you don't stand for the wave. That's gatekeeping the wave. You're not allowed to participate in this.
Stay put.
Because you have bad timing.
Are you even eating a Dodger dog?
I know, right? Exactly. You don't even like the sport. Okay. Let's think of another like little like gatekeeping.
Pickleball? Is that gatekept? I don't think so, right?
Honestly, people in the pickleball community are too accepting.
I think that's generally the appeal.
I think pickleball became popular because it didn't gatekeep.
Yeah, I think so.
Like that is only flourished because of lack of gatekeeping.
And it's again, I've never played. It's not necessarily a very intense.
It can
game.
be.
It can be. Okay.
I think it would. To me, having both played tennis and pickleball, the learning curve it's faster to learn, pick up pickleball and be decent at it. It's still hard to be like you can still be very competitive and get there. But like the fundamentals of tennis are a lot harder to pick up to become fun.
That is where an instance where culture will affect the gatekeeping.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like open for all novices, but it's not, but probably there is a gatekeeping aspect at the top end.
Yes.
But for tennis, the gatekeeping is the skill itself. I think you can't really have a fun time if you don't have the basic skills.
So if I don't have the skills, but I want to play tennis.
I think tennis, you have to like really do drills to start, like learn the basics before you can even play a game. Like you got to be like taking some lessons, running. Like you got to learn how to like hold the racket. Cause like the truth is like With a pickleball, if you kind of just like hold it however and hit it, you're gonna get it over. With a tennis ball, it's gonna fly out of the court. It's gonna go off in a different direction. You can't even sustain a rally for more than like 2 hits. It's harder to have fun if you don't have the skill set.
I am thinking about it now that like there are more and more niche communities and hobbies that offer lessons getting into it. Like I mentioned this to you before. I took a role-playing class for tabletop role-playing games.
Yeah.
There are online courses for learning how to do very niche things.
Yeah.
And that is a way that people are learning how to enter a space that may be gatekept.
My sister and I took a soldering class.
Very cool.
Yeah, back in New York. That was like, and that space could have been felt totally like it could have been like a gate-kept space.
But it's a class.
Because it was like, it was a class within this like, I don't know if it was
institution that's like, we're all solderers.
It was like a nonprofit, but it was like a tinkering institution. It was like, they had lots of different like tools. They had across the board, like a 3D printer. They had like wiring. They had like coding. They had woodworking. So like a lot of tinkering stuff. Like if you want to build something, it was like a space for that, which can be a little like intimidating to go into because like it requires knowledge and skills to be able to like work in that space
and a general handiness.
Yeah. And so we took this like soldering class and it was like really fun. They did something very simple. It was like an entry level soldering kit basically. And
soldering wires together.
Yeah, it was soldering like transistors together, electronics.
Oh, very cool. My friend does that.
Yeah. So we learned how to do that, and that's a great environment to learn. But I think that like maybe we could also say this, like anything that requires like skills, I think any community that requires like a skill set should also be offering classes.
They should, yes.
For beginners.
Yes.
Well, that's also the way they like keep the community thriving. It's like allow people to learn in a safe environment, and not like you can still like go on your freaking campaigns with your advanced players and not feel like they're encroaching on your space. Like that's fine too.
Totally.
But like a little generosity can go a long way.
Those are the community builders. And anyone who's experienced can willingly choose to participate in helping out those newbies instead of feeling like compelled to be, oh, these people are put on my plate. I have to take care of them.
Totally.
If anyone is advanced, they now have the choice if they want to.
Yeah.
They ought to.
They ought to. Okay, because we know this community, and we know that gatekeeping happens.
Yes.
What do you feel about the improv community?
The improv community.
Gatekeeping.
Look, there are a lot of people that are in improv. It is a very fun medium. It's very helpful. It's very great.
Yeah.
I think people just need to be wary of what their ambitions are within the community.
I keep going back to like, what are you gatekeeping here?
Yeah, definitely.
Because sometimes I'm like, are you gatekeeping a certain status, like that you like know each other, you're like in the mix? Because like honestly, sometimes I have this moment, and it happened on Saturday when I was like watching your set, and I told you there was one performer who I like thought was like really strong, and I was like, I don't know where they came from.
Yeah,
I was like, but I'm like, I don't care how much training you've had or where you went to train or whatever. I'm just like, you're good, like you're funny and you're making good moves.
And it turns
I
out
can see that
this person's affiliated with a theater that we know is like established.
Oh, okay.
And that goes back into like when you're talking about Costco, right? There's like a brand association where it's like, okay,
you've been through this program, you've been like vetted.
Yes.
Yeah, that's also useful.
And at the same time, I'm sure there are companies who have been spurned by Kirkland.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know,
I'm sure, totally.
Like, we weren't Kirkland quality,
right?
And so there's something that goes into that can apply to our community.
Totally,
for
yeah, absolutely. Like they wouldn't. How can I not get on a team or whatever? It's just like, or
they didn't value.
But there's also the person who's like, how did that person get picked?
Yeah,
like how did that person meet the
and they're perceptibly not good.
Yeah, or like or. You know, it could be both that they aren't or that people perceive them as like not because of jealousy or whatever.
Right.
But you know, like I don't know. It's like it's like interesting and more in like because for doctors you have like very specific, measurable qualities and barometers. Improv, it's just like people find different things funny. Different people are funny in different ways.
Sensibility issue.
Sensibilities.
There have been shows that I have enjoyed, and then like talking with other people that saw the same show, and they'd be like, I did not like it.
Yeah.
I did not like how they did this.
Oh my God, totally.
Like,
yeah. I mean, we kind of like were talking with like one of our teammates and talking about.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
yes,
and just
yes,
like
yes, yes.
what? Because I think I was kind of sensing that maybe you and I were maybe not as far on their side as we maybe. But definitely credible opinion to
Absolutely.
have. And I was like, oh, but maybe I don't feel as much.
Right.
Because like I do think that and honestly, like I've personally experienced this throughout my improv career. I don't know what, maybe this is self-selective a bit, but I like or biased of me, but I've found that like my sense of humor, there's a particular, I will say, like white woman who doesn't find my moves funny at all.
Not a specific like actual person.
No, but a
by
type
name.
of.
There's an archetype
of this like
of
white woman. I
specifically
don't know why.
that
It's
you-
always been like a white woman
that you
who like
know
is like just does not like.
How
my
are you
moves.
clocking this? You're like.
Because no, I get it. I like because they. It's usually like a teacher or a coach or someone who like just doesn't.
Interesting.
Yeah, who be like, pick on me a little bit or like be like, yeah. Or not pick on me, but I felt a little bit singled out
Yeah.
for moves where I was like, I think that was like a totally fine move.
Interesting.
And then,
I
like,
see what you're saying. Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Who just doesn't just does not, no matter what I do, finds me very.
And that is something to consider with your gatekeepers. Is does your gatekeeper belong to a particular archetype? And are you okay with not, being on the side of people that align that particular way?
Yeah.
Which is like fine.
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
gonna exist in this space still.
I think you also have to, you also have to just like be like, I'm not for everyone.
Yeah, I think
My humor's not for everyone. Like, I don't belong in this space.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not for this community.
Yes.
Like, that's okay too.
there is
like,
a lot of freedom in knowing that you won't be attractive to everyone.
Yes.
You won't be funny to everyone. You won't be likable to everyone.
right.
And I think that's also part of like how you endure gatekeeping. But to sort of answer your question, I think that, well, it doesn't answer it at all, but just to take it back to gatekeeping in improv, it's always generally, I think the worst of it is generally going to be filtered through ego and identity.
Yeah. I think that's like the main thing is like, is the gatekeeping preserving ego or is it preserving the integrity of the community? And I think you have to ask that question.
Because I had a friend who said something that was a little bit revelatory to me, because I tend to withhold when I don't like something. And it kind of felt sort of empowering. He was like, hey, look, we're artists. We're allowed to have our opinions.
Yeah.
And being a hater of things is just another facet of
That's
like
true.
exercising
It's
your
true.
artistic
What you don't
opinion.
like is as important as what you do like.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you do have to develop taste as a
Yes,
creative.
exactly.
As someone who consumes creative mediums, you have to develop taste. And with taste comes things you don't like.
Mhm.
But don't get me started on actual people who just don't eat food because they're have the taste buds of like a 13-year-old boy.
Man. I have to say, I do judge people who are
Ugh.
particular eaters.
PSA, if you're a fussy eater, grow up.
Oh,
Grow up. You're allowed to have allergies. You're allowed to have
autism.
You're allowed to have autism.
Some people have texture.
Yeah.
issues
You're allowed to
with
have
autism.
like dietary restrictions, but you're not allowed to only eat macaroni and cheese and chicken nuggets when you're a 35-year-old man.
yeah, throw in a pea.
Like,
Some
be an
greens, some
adult.
colors.
Like, try something new.
Cereal.
Cereal. Freaking Frosted Flakes.
That's a big leap.
I know. I'm like, what's the most basic cereal?
Cheerios.
Cheerios.
Do-
I wouldn't
does
even say that
anyone-
because like do people eat
Do
Cheerios?
people like Cheerios?
Because they're so like eating cardboard.
I think that was one of the most unpleasant cereals I've
Yeah.
ever.
I mean, Honey Nut Cheerios, different story. but-
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, gatekeeping. I think we covered a lot.
I think we covered
I
a
think
lot.
We covered a decent amount
From the
about
negative aspects, the positive aspects, where
Yeah.
it comes from, why do it,
why do it, when it's problematic,
yes,
and
and
yeah,
how it can be helpful.
yeah, I think so. Was that a whelp?
That's a whelp.
That's a whelp. I'm Terry,
I'm Jed,
and this was
is
another episode of Why Human Do.